Hello guys, what's going on and welcome back to a brand new video here on the Chapo Talks LFC channel. And today we're going to be going over a question that will be asked by many this summer, and that is Jones or MacAllister? Who stays? Who goes? Do we keep both of them? Do we sell both of them? I'll be running through pros for every option and then telling you what I think as well. If you do enjoy today, drop a like and subscribe, and let's talk Jones and MacAllister. Okay, so starting with MacAllister, I'll just pull up kind of a rough starting 11 just based on the players we've already got. Szoboszlai here. This is most likely how I would see us lining up. Game week 1, just with the current players. Obviously more signings will come in, stuff will change, and it's difficult to predict exactly what Areola will do, being a new manager and all. And then Ione over there. I'll move Jones up here for now. So it would be something like this, 4-2-3-1, and then I can imagine it would almost shift in possession to that, which I don't think is ridiculous to say, with Gravenberch sort of in the 6, which is a point we'll get onto about why selling one of them is probably better, because ideally you want Gravenberch there, and then I'll bring in like Lamine Camara, someone like that, more of a 6, more of a physical presence. However, for the purpose of this video, Gravenberch will be over here. Marca's kind of shown in the World Cup that he's still got it. Like, he was really good against England last night. The performance levels from 2 seasons ago now, I guess, have been similar to what we've seen in the World Cup. So he's not washed. I think if he had a bad World Cup, it would be quite easy to just say, get rid. However, the World Cup has changed my view on him. Marca's obviously got more experience with this group of players, especially. Maybe not necessarily this group of players, but certainly playing in a midfield 3 with Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. Obviously started almost every game the year we won the league, and played considerably more than Jones in midfield even last season when he was a bit off it. However, if we were to bring Jones in, he's more versatile. So if you need him to, he can kind of be there, I suppose. You don't want him as that kind of high fullback though. You'd almost want him a little bit more inverted, and then everyone there kind of shifts to form. Let's move Jeremy Frimpong off to form something a little more like that, if that makes any sense. And then this would become, who would that become? I'm scrambling. Yeah, and dropping there to form a 2 with Gravenberch. Also dropping wide. Grav's sitting, you've still got the man in front, and then it gives Milos a bit more freedom to go. And then you've got, it's almost like a 2-2-2-4, or even like Szoboszlai instead of MacAllister, and then Munoz. Yeah, something a little bit more like that. Gives Milos up and down. It's almost like a front. It's almost a little bit more like that. And then out of possession, Kerkez drops back. Jones drops in. Grav drops back as the 6. Szoboszlai's the 8. Verts in the 10. And then back into our 4-2-3-1 shape. That's what Jones kind of unlocks us to do. I think overall he fits Areola's system a little bit well, just in terms of the energy. I don't think either of them sort of fit like a glove. I think if you look back to who were we playing? I think it was Palace at home, back end of the season. The goal where Freddie Woodman made the save, and then we went back up the other end and scored. Jones played a big part of that. He's also Scouser, you know. It brings that sort of local passion, especially to derbies and such, but just throughout the season, it just means a little bit more to him. But then you also look at it as in, if you watched Ariola's press conference the other day, Monday, he verbalized wanting to keep Jones quite strongly, which would make me think that he won't leave, and I don't think he should leave. And then if we go, where have I put MacAllister? He's over here, right? Here he is. If let's say we said, all right, we were taking offers for Jones and for MacAllister. You're not going to get more than 40 for Jones, whereas MacAllister, you could get 60, pushing 70, which could help fund Barcola or Livramento, Lacroix, Alex Scott, Malik Fofana, Lamine Camara. They're my signings, but it just helps fund places where we need a little bit more help, because the number 8 position is probably our most secure position on the pitch, with Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Jones, MacAllister. So we've got anyone else on here? I guess Nione as well. There's just so many, and that is why the final option for me, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to keep both of them, and then you just do something more like that. Because Frimpong hasn't been overly impressive. Bradley's coming back from injury. Not even going to talk on Calvin Ramsey, poor guy. But I just think maybe not this as an 11, because obviously you ideally want some more signings. But I think that system works without MacAllister, but it doesn't the Jones dropping in system. It works without MacAllister, but it doesn't necessarily work without Jones, if that makes sense. Because you can't start MacAllister right back and expect him to drop in. That's not something that he's going to want to do, and it's also not something that he's good at. However, Jones kind of unlocks this option of playing with the inverted fullback, which we've seen from lots of teams over the years, especially Man City, with kind of O'Reilly a lot this season. Obviously that brace in the Carabao Cup final came from him playing inverted and making late runs. I wouldn't necessarily have Jones to the same extent. I'd play more in the build-up. I think that formation would work as a concept, because then you've got your left side overload with these three all linking. You've got your two sitting midfielders, if you will. You've got Szoboszlai occupying the half space on the right, Munoz plugging wide. Just, it works, and then it's fairly, as long as Jones doesn't get dragged and he stays fairly central, if not a little bit more on the right, it makes it easy for him to drop deeper back to his right back position, and then we're not going to get caught out on the counter, because he's not bombing forward as Jeremy Frimpong would, which would force. Kirkes is going to go forward. He's not been signed to drop in, and Iraola knows that more than anyone. So he is going to go forward, and if you have Frimpong, where is Frimpong? Here he is. Frimpong up here instead of Jones, then you just leave yourself a little bit more vulnerable to counter-attacks. Whereas if it's just Kirkes going all the way up, you've got your touchline winger over on this right-hand side. You've got Jones instead over here, then just logically, it takes less time to run from here to here than it does from here to here. But that's just an option. I still overall prefer the concept of Frimpong, but this is another option, and I think Jones is the only one who can give us that other option. No one else in the squad can play that sort of inverted role. You hear a lot about Bradley. It's just not the same as dropping into midfield. It's kind of the underlapping runs, the late ones into the box. He had a couple of nice ones against Real Madrid a season or two ago. But yeah, I think my final decision would be MacAllister goes only if we can get 70, 65 plus million for him, and then we bring in at least one more midfielder, possibly two. Not saying any names, of course, but yeah. But also, I wouldn't be like distraught if the summer ended and they're both still here. I think the only thing that I would know for sure is that I don't want Curtis Jones to go, and I don't think he should go. And I think Areola thinks that as well. So all is well at Liverpool, and as long as we make another signing, or 4, or 5, or 6, then we should be fine going into next season, and I'm excited for it. But yeah, if you guys have enjoyed, drop a like, subscribe. If you disagree, tell me in the comments and tell me why. Don't just say you disagree, because that's like, come on now. But yeah, if you disagree, let me know why, and I'm sure we can have a nice chit chat about it. Anyway, see you guys in the next one. Should be in the next few days. Probably be a video about something to do with right backs, either about Frimpong or about Livermento. Anyway, see you guys in the next one.